Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I am talking about my most anticipated movie of this year, Dune Part 2. If you could subscribe to the channel and give the video a like, that would be fantastic. I saw Dune Part 2 last night in IMAX, and honestly I'm still kind of speechless. It is a certain kind of movie that we just don't get very often. The only thing that I can think of that even remotely compares as far as scale and grandeur goes is the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It is a film that reminds me why I love movies and reminds me the power of filmmaking. I loved the first Dune film so much. I hadn't read the book at the time and was excited because of the marketing and because of Denis Villeneuve. He's easily my second favorite director, only behind Christopher Nolan for now, and that might be a competition after seeing this movie. Dune Part 1 thoroughly blew me away when I first saw it, and it still blows me away every time I watch it. I have read the book since then. I highly recommend reading it if you enjoy the films. It is such a grand epic of a film with so much interesting world building and so many great characters. That being said, I think Dune Part 2 honestly blows Part 1 out of the water in nearly every aspect. Part 2 didn't have to worry about setting up the world and now continues to build upon it with incredibly thought-provoking themes and imagery. From a technical standpoint, Dune Part 2 is about as perfect as filmmaking can get. See this film in IMAX if you can, and if you can't see it in IMAX, at least see it on the largest screen possible with the loudest sound system possible. This time around, Villeneuve and Greg Fraser filmed the entire movie in IMAX, so it is presented in a jaw-dropping 1:9 aspect ratio, and if you go to a larger IMAX, it will shift from 1:9 to 1:4. I did not see it in a larger IMAX, so it was entirely in 1:9, which was fantastic regardless. I really truly hope that this movie's Blu-ray release includes every bit of IMAX, because the first one didn't. What Greg Fraser does with the visuals and cinematography here is nothing short of astonishing. There are so many beautifully crafted frames that are both massive in scale, and there are also so many intimate shots that just focus on an actor's face, which helps you immerse yourself into the characters. Hans Zimmer delivers another completely euphoric musical score that I will definitely be listening to on repeat. The sound design, especially in an IMAX theater, is chest-pounding. This movie will surely sweep all the technical awards at next year's Academy Awards, for sure. All of the acting from everyone is top-notch, and personally I feel that Timothée Chalamet gives his best performance of his entire career here. Chalamet and Rebecca Ferguson might be deserving of acting noms for next year, they're that good. Rebecca Ferguson as Lady Jessica becomes a huge driving force of the story in this movie, even more so than in the first, and in many ways her character goes into a rather disturbing descent of manipulation and deceit. Austin Butler as Feyd-Rautha is unrecognizable. You cannot convince me that this is the same actor that played Elvis. It's so different. Zendaya gives maybe the best performance that I've seen her give in a movie. Granted, I haven't seen all the films that she's been in, so at the very least, this is the best performance I've seen her give in a movie. Her role as Chani and Javier Bardem as Stilgar, who is also fantastic in the movie, represent two sides of the themes and conflicts that are explored. However, I'll talk about that more in a little bit. The pacing of this film is immaculate. It is never slow, yet it takes its time to tell the story properly without ever feeling rushed. The 2-hour 45-minute runtime completely flew by for me. Story-wise, it is hard to come by any movie that is both visually and narratively as epic as Dune Part 2. It explores so many interesting themes of religion and tackles the dangers of messianic figures. Chani's side of the story explores characters that do not believe that Paul is the Messiah that are told in the prophecies, while Stilgar is deeply devoted to Paul and fully believes in these prophecies. This creates a fascinating tension amongst the Fremen as Paul rises to power throughout the course of the story. It is also a film that has plenty of political intrigue between the main players of the story amongst the Fremen, House Harkonnen, and the Emperor. The struggle over spice ownership and the struggles over who has true power of Arrakis is explored amazingly. Throughout this story, we are also greeted with a ton of incredible action sequences that are fantastically visceral. The action that happens in the final 30 minutes are truly pulse-pounding. In general, I was so invested into the story that I had to remember to breathe at certain points in the second half of the film because I was so immersed into the story. In all honesty, this movie is filled with so many epic moments, sequences, and amazing storytelling that it can be overwhelming. And it is overwhelming in the best possible way imaginable. Denis Villeneuve shows a deep understanding of the source material of Dune and how it explores Paul's character as the finale of the film starts to ramp up. His ascent to power starts to become rather unsettling in many, many ways. I won't spoil anything specific here, but the way that fanaticism is displayed is remarkable. The ending of this film left me deeply satisfied with the story of Dune, while also leaving me wanting more. I guess I need to finally read Dune Messiah now. The only negative that I have about this movie is that there wasn't enough Sardaukar throat music. Dune Part 2 is, in all honesty, quite easily one of the best movies that I've ever seen. It is for sure one of the best science fiction movies that I've ever seen. And it is definitely one of the best theatrical experiences of my life. Go and see this movie in the theaters with the biggest screen and the loudest sound systems possible. It deserves every accolade that it will inevitably garner. I'm betting right now that it wins Best Picture next year. Watch me get that wrong. You can make fun of me if I do get it wrong, but I'm betting you it wins. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. Okay, bye.
If it is to be said, so it is.